Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fourth episode of Practically My Monologue. You guys probably know my ass already, but in case you don't, my name's Nina. I'm just in a weird funk, and I'm just going to say it right off the bat. I'm going to get it the fuck out there. I'm in a weird funk. I'm in a very different swing of things with my life and all that shit. So I just decided, I'm like, instead of sitting in my head, which I'm working on not doing, I'm just gonna get on here and fucking talk, because I already had some ideas planned for this episode. So I was like, why don't I just film that? And then also a lot of the stuff that I have written down correlates with how I'm feeling right now. So I felt like fuck it, it's perfect, right? But yeah, you know what, let's just dive into it. I want to talk about women's bodies and how they work in my experience, just with my body. And I've talked to a lot of other girls, and a lot of them can relate. As I've gotten older, like when you're younger, you're a woman, your periods are more sporadic, and like you're hormonal and stuff, and your body's changing, but you're also kind of in school at that time, like if not middle school, then high school, you know, so you're kind of busy and you're thinking about other things. In my experience, you don't really notice how you're feeling. And then when I got out of high school, and I just kind of I didn't have as much to do. Like, I honestly, side note, kind of miss school in a little bit. I've debated going back or going into a trade. And I'm young, so I can always make that decision. But I was always busy, you know, you had to wake up. I was waking up at like 6:45. I don't wake up at 6:45 anymore. And I was doing something for 8 hours a day, you know. So I do kind of miss that routine. But with that routine, yeah, you don't really notice what's kind of going on with your body. And then I, got older, like I said, and I have a little bit more intel on what my body's doing. And also, the older you get, the more aligned your periods are. Like, you're gonna get it mostly for a lot of people. Again, for me, I get it on pretty much the same day now because I'm older. It's not as sporadic. But I want to talk about, and I want to see if anybody agrees with me, that like 2 weeks before your period, is it just me, or like, are you fucked in the goddamn head, dude? Like, I get, like, it's to the point where like even like Kyle really notices too. It's like a complete shift. And I definitely understand that like how happiness is a choice. It's a choice to like let it bother you a lot, you know? And I'm definitely trying to work on that, because I'm not going to try and use my period as an excuse for how I'm acting. But also I kind of am, but not as an excuse, just as a reasoning, because your hormones as a woman and as a man shit is like completely different, you know? But as a woman, I get so crazy. I get, very, very depressed, like everything is wrong. My whole life blows. I've been going through a lot of health issues right now. So, and it also doesn't help to be stressed, right? And your period causes stress, like before, makes things feel more stressful. But I get almost, like, I'm going to use this word, but not seriously, like psychotic. Like, I just get fucking wild. Like, I'm crying, I'm screaming, the rage that goes through me boils. And I have an anger issue. I've slowly developed, like, not developed, but I've slowly realized that I definitely do have a bit of an anger issue. I'm working on that, because it's just not worth it to walk around angry all the time, you know? But, I just get really like furious, and also so depressed. Like, I feel like my life isn't worth living. I feel like everything I've done is a mistake. I feel overwhelmed with the fact that I feel lazy. And that's what really has set it off this past month with my cycle, is like I've realized, that I feel lazy and I'm not doing anything for myself, and I can't believe this. Like, what the fuck have I been doing? I just sit around and like, what am I doing with my life? And that's a very broad question, right? And I think a lot of us are stressed right now with the society and money and all this shit. And it's like, I realized, I'm not lazy. I work out and I exercise my body at least 4 times a week, if not 5. I now have a job, thank gosh, that I go to about 4 days a week. I go three to 5, because it can vary. I'm going to make it vary to make more money and all that. I started a podcast. I've learned how to edit. I've done a million different crafts. I moved to Florida. I go out, I shop, I get my things done. My house is clean. My laundry is folded. My dishes are done. I'm not lazy. And I was telling myself all these nasty ass things about me that aren't true. And that really happens a lot when I'm 2 weeks before my period. And I think it could also be like a bad case of PMS. Like that could just be my thing. I'm definitely going to go get checked out for all that. But I am so hard on myself. And I'm hard on myself even without, a hormonal talk. But like, and that just kind of, it all comes together, But I'm realizing that I'm so fucking mean to myself. I am terrible to myself. And I'm my own worst enemy. And I am slowly realizing different ways I can be fixing this because I need to fix my mindset. And it's very difficult to do. I've been told I'm a very negative person and I'm very not calm. And I am very reactive, which I think all of those things can come with benefits, but also because being a reactive person, I don't feel bad about that, but I need to be more mindful of how my reactions make me feel. All these things about myself, like being not calm and reactive and angry, I've realized what damage it's already done to me, and I'm too young to keep living my life like this. So I just started today thinking about how I'm not going to do this anymore. And since I'm saying it out loud, I feel like that might kind of hold me to it, right? And this podcast is almost like therapy for me in a certain way. It's also fun and cool to talk, to an audience and stuff. But I've realized I cannot do this anymore. I'm miserable. And I realized I make myself miserable. I choose to feel this way. It also comes from like not really knowing how to make myself happy, I suppose. And that's something we'll get into later. I'm actually going to write that down. I've realized that I choose to make myself upset and I choose to stay uncomfortable. For example, I'm trying to think of like a really good example. I guess it doesn't need to be really good. I'm a perfectionist, so that's like another thing. It's like, oh, that's not a good enough example because that doesn't. It's just like, just stop. Like, just think of one. Just think of an example and give it to them. But like, I will put on a pair of pants, and they're not comfortable, but they make me look better than another pair of pants will. So I'll continue to wear those pants throughout the whole day and bitch about how uncomfortable they are. I don't need to be uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable in those pants and also uncomfortable with my body. But if I just wore the pants that were more comfortable and maybe a different top to tie it all together to make it feel a little bit better, I can do that. I choose to make myself miserable for some sort of gain, but I'm not getting anything out of it. All I'm getting is misery. I've fully realized that this is not the way to live your fucking life. Like I'm stressed out for a lot of different reasons, and some of those are personal, but it's like I am so overwhelmed and I'm making myself overwhelmed. I don't have to live my life this way. And I've written a couple things down and like taped them to my wall. One of them being like, why do I choose to think like this? Why do I choose to think like this? I think it's just ingrained for years, right? But I'm also like, where did that even come from? That I just have to be miserable. That's just normal to be uncomfortable. I don't have to be uncomfortable. It's all about just kind of taking charge of your life. And like, if I want to go get my vegan fried chicken, I can go get that. I don't need to sit here and be like, no, I'll get fat if I eat that. I work out 4 days a week. I don't even really eat that much throughout the week. Unless I'm high, then I do eat way too much, get munchies. But it's like, what am I doing? What the fuck? Like, why? All I'm doing is making myself upset when I could make myself happy. For example, this past weekend, my boss told me to go to Cocoa Beach or Cocoa Village. And we go to Cocoa Beach maybe about once or twice a month. And I'm like, what? Cocoa Village? I've never heard of that. When we got there, first, Kyle missed this parking spot. And I was like, why didn't you park there? It was the perfect spot. Why didn't you park there? And I realized I was rageful at the fact that he didn't park there, which, what is that getting me? Absolutely nothing. I get nothing out of that. My head hurts because I'm so angry when I could just be like, we didn't just park there. That's fine. I literally lost my shit. For what fucking reason? Now he's upset. I've made my boyfriend upset. And now I'm upset for no reason. Nothing was justified. That's not a valid reason to be that fucking upset. It's like, why the fuck did you park there? Okay, that needs to be the end of it. Not you being a little bitch about it, right? And then we walk around and it wasn't exactly as I expected. Like I thought it would be a little bit bigger. Maybe I missed like a huge part of it. Maybe I'm an idiot and I didn't see it. But I'm like, great. No, everything I fucking do. And then I'm on my period. So I bled through my tampon, into my underpants, and into my jean shorts. And I was like, every time I fucking try to do something, it blows. Everything always gets fucked up. What kind of mindset is that? What am I doing? How does that benefit me at all? So it is definitely a fucking bummer to bleed through all your shit, right? It's very uncomfortable and you feel gross and you're allowed to be upset. That's pretty valid, right? But why do I feel the need to find everything wrong with the situation and then just be sad the whole time? It's self-destruction. I'm not getting anything out of that. So I've just decided I need to fucking stop that. It's hard. It's already been hard, but there's no reason to keep doing this. So instead, and then on a side note, when I don't feel like that, my brain is empty. And then when my brain is empty, I'm somehow concerned. Like, what? Why the fuck am I not thinking about something? I should be going to do this. I should be going to that. It's like my brain is now chilling. It's protecting itself. I'm not thinking about anything. Nothing's wrong. I'm not making anything wrong. So when my brain is quiet, I'm immediately concerned and mad and angry with myself that I'm not doing something. It's like, why don't you just fucking enjoy it, you crazy bitch? Like, you make yourself think about all this bullshit anyway, and then now you have time to yourself where your brain's shut off, or, I mean, you're doing one thing and you're focused on it. It's like, why is that a bad thing? So I'm just gonna really focus on those moments where I'm not thinking about shit and not treating myself like a piece of crap, and really enjoy those and try and have more of those and try and see what cycles I go into to where I feel those. Like, what am I doing most of the time when I feel that, you know? Because I just think and I think and I think and I think and I think. And I'm so in my head that when I'm not in my head, it's worrisome, you know? But kind of going back to like the period talk and stuff and PMS, it's debilitating at times. Like the PMS that I've experienced, and I know from a couple of other women that I've talked to, like they feel the same way. It's like, I've now just gotten to an argument with my boyfriend. I have torn my mind apart. Now I'm laying in bed, almost unable to move because I'm so depressed. And the hormones, which it's not necessarily, I'm not going to say it's an excuse, but also it's a real fucking thing. Like what women's brains do during that time and how we feel and how our body changes. Like we're bloated, my back's starting to hurt, like I have a headache. It's like I feel ill because of just my normal womanhood. Plus my mental state that's never really that great. And then you put the hormones on top of it and it's just fucking destruction. Like and I can just feel my mind being torn apart and it's fucking terrible. And I feel like it's pretty well covered these days with, you know, the woke culture that I don't particularly like. But when it comes to certain things with women in it, I do like some of it, but it's also, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's like, damn. This is really fucking terrible. And, you know, a lot of, you know, guys will joke about it like, oh, she's on her period, or, you know, people don't want to take it seriously. It's like when you have hormones that are racing through you and they make you think terrible things on top of what you're already thinking, you know, it's scary, honestly. I've scared myself with some of the things I've thought, and then I get my period, and the next day I'm like, oh, okay. I feel better. Like the release after, like the day after you get your period, like you get your period, you sleep, you wake up. I usually feel at least 50% better, if not 100. And it's insane. And I know that some of that is definitely my fault. Like I should not let that get in the way of me living and being okay, right? But it's insane to see that change within myself. So I'm definitely going to be keeping a watch for that in the future, because I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel like this. I got 2 weeks before. Okay. So I know the reason, believe the reason, don't think it's something else, because it's usually not, and just kind of go with it, live through it, and be nice to yourself during it. So be nice to yourself before you get your period. Fucking do that self-care shit, because it's necessary for sure. It's crazy. And I also think about a lot of women who have, oh my God, my back was just on this remote the whole fucking time I've been recording. And I was like, why am I so uncomfortable? And I'm sitting on a remote. I think a lot about, like, I don't know too much about PCOS, but I know a lot about endometriosis. It runs in my family. And that shit's fucked up too. Like that's, if in case you're unaware, it's like when your uterine lining isn't just growing in your uterus anymore, it's growing on your bowels and your intestines, and they've actually found like a cell in the brain of a woman, and it's spreading, and then it spreads and causes period symptoms in those areas. If I'm wrong, please correct me, because I don't want to sound like an idiot, but that's what I've heard, and that's what people that have it have told me. And it's fucked up. Like your fucking womb that grows babies is like destroying you in a way, you know? I just wanted to touch on that, because I've really just been thinking about, you know, womanhood and being a woman and going through your period, and even like menopause. You know, I know some people that are going through menopause right now. It really fucks you up, like for real, for real. Like it might even be like, it's a different fucking level. Like period, you know, you're fucking crazy and you're upset. Menopause, like I know that a lot of women don't feel as womanly during it, you know, because even though we hate our periods, going without it kind of feels weird. Unless you're pregnant, then you're kind of grateful. But like, you kind of feel, as Blanche Devereaux said in Golden Girls, she feels less of a woman, and she just was trying to go through that the best way possible, you know? So women in the body is just fucking crazy. It's just always changing, and I can't even imagine what pregnancy hormones will be like, because that's just got to be a whole different ballpark. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, because it's shitty. It's fucking painful and messy, both literally and figuratively, and it's just not a fun time, and it really gets me down. So if anyone else needed to hear that, then I'm glad that I could serve that to you. But switching gears a little bit, I heard about, we'll say about a month ago, about something called mixed privilege. I don't know if I will at all speak. I'm usually pretty well spoken. Sometimes I get messy, as we see, because I have ADHD and I ramble and I'm a mess sometimes. But I heard about mixed privilege, and I honestly couldn't really believe it, to be honest. I want to start off by saying I'm a mixed woman. My mom is white, my father is black. And also, I think everybody is beautiful, right? I think all black is beautiful. And I think that mixed people that are just specifically black and white is what I'm talking about. There's lots of different mixes. We are in a very interesting spot when it comes to race. I have been told that I'm not black because of how I speak, which I don't know what the fuck that means. So because people want to go through stereotypes, which stereotypes are bullshit. So we see people in the hood, which doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody can live in the motherfucking hood. Doesn't matter. And they want to speak a bit illiterately, right? And that's what considered black. I don't understand, right? Because there's very well-spoken black people. There's black people that speak differently than that, or with a southern drawl or whatever the fuck. Like, why does the way that my voice sound make me more or less black? That's bullshit to me. And I've also been told, I'm too white to be black, and I'm too black to be white. I've been called, I'm debating whether I want to say the N word or not. I won't, just because it's whatever the fuck, but I can say it, but it's like, ugh. I've been called the N word in Tecumseh back home, visiting my grandmother. I've been called that. I've been screamed out of a window, and they called me that. And I'm going on a walk, fucking chilling, listening to music, in a small town that I always have loved. That was definitely jarring, right? Okay, so then wow, I guess I'm really black, right? And then I've also been told that since my mom is white, I'm not really black. And I'm the topic, I'm privileged because my mom is white. I want to go on the record and say that is the most bullshit I have ever heard in my entire life. And if I say shit to contradict that, that's just, I can be a walking contradiction sometimes, not ever on anything big. It's like, oh, I don't like the color red, yet I'm wearing a red shirt. Usually shit like that, right? But I couldn't believe that someone would say that to me. And this is also coming from me, who my father was not really in the picture for me, and I was raised with all white people. That definitely did not benefit me. I think that I'm a great person just because of who they are. Doesn't matter the skin color. It probably would have been nice to see another black person at Christmas. But that just didn't happen. So, and I definitely was looked at weird. I don't want to be mean, but my family definitely got racist people in it for sure. 100%, definitely. No joke. I don't give a fuck because I don't really give a fuck about them because they weren't a part of my life and they didn't ever try to be, and it's whatever. But yeah, no. So yeah, I'm not black because my mom's white. And I'm privileged, and that's, mixed privilege, because a lot of times the mom happens to be white and the dad happens to be black in a lot of cases that I know and a lot of my friends, right? And I even did a Snapchat story 3 years ago about this, and it's just what makes me not black, right? What is it because I like to read a certain genre of books? Is it because I like Leonard Skinner, a couple of his songs, and Pink Floyd and Aerosmith? Is that why I'm not black? Do I only need to listen to trap music and hip hop, which are both fucking things I listen to and I love, and I've actually been reading a lot of lyrics on some trap music, and it's fucking awesome. It's really deep, and it's way deeper than I thought it was. So just a side note, that's really cool. But it's what is it that I need to be black? And then I've also noticed and maybe it's just because for real, black women be boss ass bitches for real. They scare me, and I am one. Other black women scare me because they're fucking bosses. They just look dope as fuck, and they look so strong. I ain't never gonna fuck with somebody like that because just the energy that they give off is powerful. And I have been looked at, I even had a teacher and was not happy and upset when she realized my mom was white. And then when she just saw my skin tone, they hate on me because of the skin tone, right? And it's I don't really understand that, because I feel as a community of beautiful black people, we should uplift people no matter how light their skin is. And I've been hated on because my skin's lighter, and it's there was a thing in high school or something, maybe a year after I got out, it's talking about how black guys don't like darker girls anymore because they like the mixed chicks and shit. And it's I don't even, who the fuck cares? If people like that, then they like that. And then there's black women that are fucking gorgeous that date white dudes or Hispanic dudes or black dudes. Why is it that mixed people and I'm not in any way playing victim, I'm just talking, but it's why is it that I need to be hated on because my skin's lighter and I'm not black enough and I don't know the struggle because I'm lighter. It's like I just said, like I just said, it's like I've been called the N-word at least 6 times. And I've been told by some white woman, not that I hate white people at all. My family's white. Like, I don't hate white people. My boyfriend's white. Like, I was, I think only black people would get this, but I was in the UP back home in Michigan, and me and my mom were doing these stairs. It's like, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like you walk up all these fucking stairs, and it's like a thing people do. And this white woman called me Beyonce. And if you just really think about that, it's like, what the fuck? Like, oh, we got Beyonce in front of us. It's like, she's trying, I don't know if she was trying to be nice. I'm not hating on her or anything. It's just like, it's a weird thing to say. Like, I guess you had to be there. I might even cut this out because I guess you had to be there, but I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I think, I don't know. I can't believe that mixed privilege is even like a fucking thing. Like, I heard about this in like an article. I read it and I'm like, what the fuck? Because it's so bizarre to me. I think it's really fucked up. I think that we should just uplift each other in the black community, no matter how dark and light our skin is. And don't get me wrong, there's tons of people that have. And then there's also fellow wonderful black people that have been mean to me and told me that I'm not black enough to be here. And and why you listen to that music? Why do you listen to that music? Like, you shouldn't be because of your skin tone and shit. And I just don't get that. Like, I really was actually like, I even talked to a friend about it, and she kind of explained it to me a little bit. It's like, oh, what, we don't get the struggle because my mom was white and that means I was privileged? It's like, my mom worked 3 fucking jobs and we were poor as fuck. What kind of privilege did I have? Like, if my mom would have been black, she still would have been hustling her fucking ass off. But what, we would have been accepted more into the community because she is dark? Like, I don't get that. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, I know it's kind of a weird topic, and I guess, like I said, I wasn't going to like sound good saying it, but like, I just feel like that's bullshit. Like, what the fuck? Like, like the paper bag test and shit like that. Like, if you are, darker than it, you don't pass. Like, this is way, way back in the day and shit like that. It's like, that's even fucked up. Like, it's not as severe, right, as that, but like, that's just what I think of and shit. And I'm just like, that's such a fucked up way of thinking, that like, I'm not as black, so I'm deemed better, or I'm too dark for white people, so I'm deemed someone who's, a piece of shit. Like, I don't even fucking know. It's like, what? It's just really, it's really weird, and it's really confusing. And I just don't get how, like, everybody's all woke and shit now, which I don't really want to be a part of, but it's like, really? And then we still hating on people because my skin's lighter and my daddy's black? Like, really? That's what's going on? It just doesn't, I don't know. I guess I didn't really have like pinpoints I wanted to go off of for this mixed privilege thing, but I just, in case y'all didn't hear about it, that's a fucking thing, and I thought you might like to hear about it. But it's like, really? So there's white privilege and mixed privilege, and then it's like everything else is just sad or something. I don't know, but it's like, I don't know, it just is that was bizarre to me when I read that, because I was like, I don't think I've been privileged at all. In fact, I feel like I've been more of an outcast, and this isn't woe is me or anything, I don't really give a fuck, but it's like, I've been more outcast because I'm, like I said, either too white for black people, or I'm too black for white people. So it's like, fuck it. I don't get why anybody cares. That's another thing about, like, another example of, I don't understand why people give a fuck, because it's like, why can't we just be nice? Like, I guess it's easier said than done, but I don't get that. But yeah, I found that interesting. I don't really know if my life would have been different if my mom was black, perhaps, but also I do know that there's been family members who have been rude or inappropriate to me because of my skin tone and my curl texture and shit like that, and that's shit that I've talked about with people that are darker than me, and they say it's fucked up and it's racist or whatever the fuck, and it's like, yeah, it kind of is, but also, what are you gonna do? It's my family. And honestly, they're not really my family, because my family is the people that choose to talk to me and want to spend time with me, and that's just how it is. It doesn't mean I hate anybody, but yeah, I just found that really interesting. And I just wanted to bring that up as just a statement, I guess, because it's such bullshit. Like, I don't know, like the struggle's deeper for people that are darker. And it's like, I mean, I can understand. It's not like I'm blind, you know, I can get it. But like, I still get looked at fucked up because I'm with a white boy, and he still gets looked at weird because he's with a black girl. So it's whatever, you know. I don't get why that has to be a fucking thing. I think people are just trying to fuel weakness. I'm just like, that doesn't need to be what we need to do. Like, don't blame me because my mom's white, you know. Why don't you figure out your situation yourself and figure out why you needed to feel that way or say that? Like, why do you feel like you need to point out that other people have more privilege? It's like, don't get me wrong, people that grow up in shitty neighborhoods, black, white, whatever, they have less of an opportunity. Of course, I understand that, but it's like, if you didn't take any opportunities that you have, it doesn't mean that I'm privileged because I took them. It means that you just didn't take them, you know? So I guess I'll leave that at that. But kind of going on social topics and stuff, politics. I know I kind of talked a little bit about this on my first episode about the news and how I don't really watch the news. Sorry, I got paranoid. I wasn't recording. So with all the stressors that I've been dealing with lately in the health issues and mental issues and all that stuff, one thing has become clear to me. So I'm grateful for that. I'm trying to think more positively. So I'm going to say I'm grateful for that I figured out this one thing about myself. I realized I don't, and I kind of already touched on this, like I said, but I really don't give a fuck about politics at all. Like, I just don't. And there's a lot of people that are probably going to think like, what the fuck? She doesn't care about what's going on in her country. You don't want to do this. You don't want to realize that this is bad. And when he was president, it was so much better. And then I'm just like, no, I don't fucking care. I think that, you know, my boss, and I have a different interpretation of it. He probably meant something different. My older boss from the liquor store, he said, leave politics to the politicians. And I take that as they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm not a politician. I don't care about policy. I don't care about who's governor. And I don't really care about who's president, because besides the one black president that we've had, they've all been older white men who have no idea what it's like to be a woman or what it's like to be a minority, and I'm both. So they don't care about my needs. They'll say that they do, you know. They'll do whatever they can to let you know that they do. They don't, because a lot of politicians are just really in it for the money. Not all, you know, some. And they're still going to go back to their fancy ass house and wear their fancy ass suits and be with their fancy little wife or whatever the fuck, and they aren't going to actually sit down and try and figure out what women need from someone in power and what minorities need from someone. They just don't fucking care. It's a money game, it's a popularity game, and that's why I don't fucking care. And I also think, you know, side note, but also still kind of on the topic of politics, it's like people who put, like, I just saw this the same day we actually went to Cocoa Village. I'm in Florida, so there's a lot of Republicans and shit like that down here. And I'll get into that in a minute about Republican, Democrat, liberal, whatever the fuck. But I saw this guy had probably like a head-sized sticker of like a profile picture of Donald Trump on the back of his truck. And I wasn't mad. I laugh at a lot of stuff like that because I think that you're an ignorant person to think that, I mean, I guess you do it for yourself, but think that anyone wants to see that or cares that you put that on there. It's like, why do you feel the need to do that? Why does anyone feel the need? Like, I understand flying an American flag, which apparently if you fly an American flag these days, you're a fucking racist or you're a bigot or some shit. It's like, I don't know. I fucking live here in the United States and I have a flag, or I have a t-shirt that says United States of America. Like, I live here and it is better than other countries where women don't have any rights, you know? And it is, you know, so I'm not going to be ungrateful for that, but yeah, no, I don't understand why people feel the need to hang flags for Trump or for Biden, which I don't like either. But I mean, that's a story for a different day, or maybe today, who fucking cares? But, or or put my governor is an idiot, because I'm from Michigan. So when COVID happened, Governor Whitmer shut a whole bunch of shit down and everybody was pissed. It's like, I mean, I get why she did it. I mean, my stance on COVID has definitely changed since it's kind of gone away a little bit. Like, why do you feel the need to put that in your yard? Do you think anyone cares what you have to say? They don't. You're one person. Like, I know that they say, kids can do anything. It just takes one person to start a message or whatever the fuck. It's like, no one really cares though. Like, I started this podcast. I've gotten like 32 views total or some shit. I don't care. I don't care who's listening to this. That's why I talk about shit that's controversial. Because if you don't like my opinions on stuff, which everyone is entitled to their opinion, right? And also, if you don't like me just because of one thing that I said, like I've said, the cancel culture and all that shit, it's stupid. But yeah, the need to put shit in their yard, and it's like, no one cares what you have to say. I know people don't care about what the fuck I have to say. I know that there's people, I've promoted this only on my Snapchat, and I'm probably going to delete that soon because it's stupid. But it's like, I know that there's people that have looked at that, even my own friends, that haven't listened to it, that have not listened or supported my podcast. And there is a few that have, and I've really appreciated the feedback. But I don't care, because I'm just sitting here talking, because I don't like to keep all my thoughts in my head, so I let them out. So I suppose maybe that's what they're doing. But when it comes to politics, it's like, no one gives a fuck what you want to say about Trump or Biden or whoever the fuck, or your governor. It's like, the need to do that just makes me feel like you're dumb. Like, I mean, I never, and I've also thought, like, even like bumper stickers with like Obama or Bernie or Trump, or even like a gay flag sticker or a BLM sticker on your car. It's like, first off, you're just choosing to be beat up, or like someone's gonna get road rage at you for sure. Double the amount that they already would if you didn't go at a green light, because you have that sticker. Like, and that's your choice to put that on there. Of course, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. But it's just like, why do you feel the need to broadcast to everybody that you're gay and proud? It's like, I mean, I think you should be gay and proud, be proud of who you are. But it's like, no one cares. Just be gay. Like, I mean, there is people that care, and that's sad that they care, because it's like, what the fuck are you caring about what someone wants to do with their life, But it's like, why do we need to like show to everybody how we politically identify, or how we sexually identify? Like, who the fuck cares? You think everybody wants to know that? I know I don't. Like, I don't want to know. And I also think that politics in general is just like, it's a game. Like, it's entertaining. And I've honestly thought about how, and this would be totally controversial and I don't care, but it's like, I don't think I really want to vote. Unless, like, I definitely voted for, in Michigan back home, I think I was like 20, because they were doing these props and shit, and one of them was for abortion and stuff. So I was like, well, I definitely have to vote, because you're not going to take my rights away in that sense. That's whatever, however you feel, I don't fucking care. But I mean, that's just my opinion. No one's going to take away my right to do that if I find it necessary, But even like people putting like pro-choice as a sticker, it's, or they stand with Planned Parenthood. It's like, I mean, I do too. I've gone there and I haven't gotten an abortion there. Side note, Planned Parenthood isn't just for abortion. It's not some evil place, It's where I went and got my birth control shot. You can go get like a pap smear. You can get tested for an STD. It's not a fucking just an abortion clinic. So people need to calm the fuck down, because not everybody that goes in there is getting an abortion. And if they are, fuck off. Why do you care? Like, right? So, but yeah, no, I just found that interesting, seeing that sticker. And then I also saw this huge fence that had Trump painted on it. And if I can find a way to, if any of you are interested, and let me know in the comments, which no one does, but but I'll try and upload the picture to YouTube. Excuse me. But because it was funny, and I'm in Florida, so there's shit tons of those, But yeah, it was a huge fence / maybe it was a wall with the painting. Like, someone really took their time on this, of Trump. And I'm like, I don't know how. I mean, I get like artists, murals of artists like Maya Angelou, and just people that have really made a difference, I'm just trying to, like, Martin Luther King and fucking, I mean, I think Cher, honestly, because Cher's fucking baller. She's a dope bitch and I really like her. And just what she stands for and stuff. From what I know, maybe there's something she said I don't like. So, but yeah, I think that murals can be cool for people, and I mean, they can totally paint a thing of Trump, but it's like, what are you really happy about? Like, I mean, I definitely know that my gas prices were way lower when he was in president, you know, when he was the president. It doesn't mean I like him. I just appreciate my gas prices being lower, because anyone who says grab her by the pussy really doesn't have my respect, right? Like, so it's just, ugh, you know, I just don't understand. Like, I don't think I would ever, I think I'd get like a poster of like Hendrix or something, you know, because fucking icon, right? But it's like, I don't know why we have to like paint murals of like political figures. I mean, some of them have definitely done good shit, so go ahead. But like for ones that have just kind of like, you know, like for that presidency, I don't think there needs to be a mural. But like, whatever, it doesn't bother me. But I just found it funny that anyone has the inclination to do that, you know, especially for someone who's pretty mediocre and mildly shitty, which he's definitely more than mildly shitty. But I don't really feel like getting into it because he's not worth my time to talk about, you know, because he's a piece of shit, and a piece of shit is a piece of shit. So it's whatever. But yeah, no, I found that interesting. And I just found the idea of putting stickers on your fucking car of what you believe in to be pretty stupid. Like they have religious ones and stuff too. And I'm just like, oh, that's politics and religion and shit like that. I guess we can go off on religion as well. It's like, I think that if you have a religion that you want to follow, great. I also think a lot of it's bullshit. It's not that I'm an atheist. I'm very spiritual. I definitely believe in energy and vibes and stuff like that. But like I just saw, oh, this is pretty ironic. This is kind of funny. We were pulling out of Publix yesterday actually. And this car said, "Do you follow Jesus this closely?" And, you know, because people fucking be bumper to bumper down here and shit. First off, that's not going to get anybody to get off your ass. If anything, they're going to make fun of you. And also, the dude didn't go at the green light. So it was kind of ironic and kind of funny. But it's like, why would anyone, I don't want to see that shit. It's like, I don't want to see anything on anybody's car. Like I had some stickers of like, "Stay trippy little hippie" on my old car. And like my mom had like I did. I don't know who it was, like a Hendrix fucking sticker and shit, you know, and like an actual rainbow, not a flag, but just like a rainbow because it's pretty. Which, by the way, another side note, I saw this video of he had said if you fly an American flag, you're a bigot, and that's where I got that from. And there was another thing where it's like his son was asked, you know, "What's your favorite color?" He said the rainbow, because he picked all of the colors because they're all pretty, and the rainbow is like one of the most beautiful things in the sky. And then someone goes, "Oh, he's gay, that's why he likes the rainbow." It's like, nah, he's fucking 5 and he likes a rainbow. Like, that's that other shit, you know, going back to one of the last episodes. But it's like, Jesus criminy, like it's funny. Everybody just makes assumptions. But yeah, like having those stickers, it's like dumb to me, because first off, like I already said, because I repeat myself all the time, but it's like, you're just giving people reasons to hate you. And I know if you don't care, you don't care, but it's like, don't get mad when they fucking blare their horn and flip you off if you have a fucking pro-choice sticker, or if you have a rainbow flag, or if you have a Donald Trump thing on your car. Like, you put it there, you know? Like, I don't get that. I also just don't understand the need to do it, but I guess people are just going to, you know? But yeah, I just found that pretty interesting. Politics in general is just so stupid. Like, me and Kyle talk about it a lot, and how, like I said, I don't know if I already said, it's like, I don't really care for voting anymore. Like, I'll vote for, you know, my rights as a woman and a human being, but like, when it comes to another white motherfucker in office, it's like, I feel like it's pretty much going to be the same. Like, if it's a woman, that might be a little bit different, but like, it's nothing. I like to urge you to realize, it's like, when I was going through high school, Trump was president for actually like the whole time I was in high school, to be honest. And my life didn't change because of that. And if it does, and if it did, like I said, my gas prices and COVID and stuff like that, that's what happened in my life. Like, I didn't walk around every day thinking, oh my God, Trump's president, I don't know what's going on. Oh. And I remember all the time being like, I hate that motherfucker. He's a nasty piece of shit. And like, I still think he's a nasty piece of shit, but it's like, why put so much energy into shit that you can't control? And that's something I'm trying to realize myself. It's like, I'm trying not to control shit in the future because you have no control. You can have like an idea of how you want it to go. You know, you can set goals for yourself, but nothing's set in stone because life will hit you with a million different things and you don't have a choice, you know? Yeah, no, I'm just like, I don't fucking know. And especially being in Florida, coming from like a liberal state. My boss was actually just talking to me about this yesterday because we were talking about, you know, the woke movement and, I'll have to talk about the military and the yellow cards after this because we were talking about that as well. But she's like, you come from such a liberal state, but you aren't. Like, how is that, you know? And I'm now down here, and I definitely don't agree with all the crazy shit down here. And I don't like how it's just anything goes because people are riding motorcycles on the sidewalk and shit. Like, I don't fuck with that. I prefer rules, and I really miss home, and I'm excited to move back. But like, just because you're in a liberal state, and I was in a very liberal town, does not mean that everybody agrees, which is basically what this podcast is. It's like letting people know, not that they need to know, not that anyone cares, but just to be like, yo, not everybody in Gen Z is some crazy ass bitch who's fucking woke as shit and like is so politically correct it makes you want to gag. Like, we're not all like that. Most of my friends aren't like that. It's like we all identify as women because we're women. And we just think it is what it fucking is. Like, what do people expect? I don't know. I honestly am beginning to think that it's more of like a subgroup of Gen Z that's nuts and crazy. And a lot of us actually just agree with how shit was, you know, like we're normal and don't think all that shit. Don't get me wrong. We're still all mentally ill, but like, we're not that mentally ill, you know, but yeah, I find it interesting. But going on back to what my boss was talking about, apparently in the military now, which in case you're unfamiliar, and just also shout out to anyone who's listening or anyone who has family that's in the military, has been in the military. Until I met Kyle, who was in the Navy for 6 years, I did not understand how terrible it was. I knew that it was terrible, but I didn't understand it. And I will never fully understand it because I haven't been in the military. I thought about it, but I definitely probably would have not done okay. It is sick to think of how culty it is. You're all dressed the same. You're all doing the same shit. Your freedoms are taken away. Like, your comfortability, if that's a word, is taken away. Like, he was just telling me last night about how he was given a wool blanket, which is itchy as fuck, and wasn't even big enough to cover him to sleep. Like, imagine your bed right now, and my bed has 3 blankets on it, both of which fit 2 people to sleep under. I have 2 pillows. I'm comfortable. So I'm trying to work on being grateful as well because of this. It's like, that even is just shitty. Then to think about how your sergeant is fucking yelling at you, and he was just telling me the other day, last night, how he kept failing this test because he had just gotten onto the ship and you have to know all these valves. For any of you who don't know, he worked on the nuclear reactor out to sea for 6 months and then 6 months in and all that shit, which is dangerous, and he's getting radiated. But like, you have to know all the shit. Like, everyone has to know every single valve in there and shit because it's dangerous, right? And he was failing these tests because he just still needed more experience. And his captain was like, "You're a fucking idiot. What is wrong with you?" All the shit's like, you are like so beaten down and treated like garbage. And then on the other hand, he also went to Singapore, was stationed in Japan for 3 years. He's been to Peru, Mexico, just a million, like not a million, but like so many different countries. So he just got so many different perspectives. And then to just have that that camaraderie with everybody, and like you're all in this together, and your work is way harder than anything. Like you going to your 9 to 5 is not as hard as working on the nuclear reactor and being mentally abused daily, right? And then also it's like people who drive tanks and they're fucking, which are millions of dollars, and you're firing ammo, and then you come back to regular civilian life. Like no one will ever understand, besides them, no one will understand how difficult that is. And that's why there's so many people that are veterans with PTSD and have such a difficult time readjusting, because it is hard, because you just did something that's so fucking difficult and abusive and terrifying, and then now you're coming back to some bitch named Bridget and she's bitching about how she works at Kohl's. Meanwhile, Kyle worked on the nuclear reactor, didn't speak to his family at all because he couldn't. There's people that are even in more serious situations in the military, and like they don't get to talk to anybody for forever, for a very long time, and they're seeing their friends die. So it's like, and then some chick wants to bitch about Kohl's. Like, it's like, I will never understand it, but he's definitely put things in perspective for me. So definitely huge shout out and appreciation to everybody in the military. And you know what? I also will say that I was told one time by somebody, when I first met Kyle, I was explaining to my friend, that he was in the military, and she's like, you really want to date someone who served this country? And at the time, I didn't understand how rude that was. Because just because they serve this country doesn't mean that they love this country. They like the country. I like my country, my freedom and the beauty that it holds, and the people that I know here, and some of our values. But I mean, a lot of it was stolen from other countries and shit, but like, not values, but like traditions and stuff like that. But yeah, she said that, and I'm like, of course I want to be with somebody who served my country because of that discipline. And then also, a lot of people don't join the military because, oh, fuck yeah, America. Yeah, some of them do, 100%. Some of them really have that pride. But also, he has a GI Bill. He gets paid, and he got paid well, and he got room and board. So a lot of people do it because it's desperate times call for desperate measures. And I know I can get a paycheck, a roof over my head, and 3 meals a day. So please keep that in mind. It does not mean that every person in the military is a bigot, because I've heard that before too. It doesn't mean that all of them are, just like shitty people or, whatever. But it's just, yeah, it's like, I can't even, like, that question still like stumps me to this day, because it's like, you get benefits, and also he has insurance for the rest of his life, as far as I know. So who wouldn't want that? So a lot of times they're doing it to better themselves and their family. So please keep that in mind about people in the military. And again, thank you very much for your service. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave that for how it is today. Kind of a bit of a melancholy episode, a chill episode. I didn't get too angry. I'm sure y'all are appreciative of that, and your earbuds are, your eardrums are too. But yeah, I felt a little shitty, and I also had some shit to say, and I wanted to say it. So thank you again for your support and your ears for listening. And I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Goodbye.